Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special, our second Halloween episode of SnarkALec Radio. Joining me tonight, as always, and perhaps in costume, Kelly, introduce yourself to the folks at home.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kelly Toole at KELLYTHUL on Twitter, and I'll be apologizing to all of you through most of the show.
Also joining us tonight, the man who is responsible for all of this, the man whose seed birthed Kelly and I being a part of this, Tony.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Solo on Twitter. Yes, I have the C-section scars to prove it, I think.
I would like to formally state that I am no. I'm not even gonna. I can't bring myself. I refute what Mike said. Don't repeat negative language. I refute what Mike said.
I meant that figuratively.
Thank goodness. It's still unpleasant, even figuratively.
We did not claw our way out of any of Mr. Solo's orifice. Is that the plural of orifice?
Maybe.
What, Kelly, weigh in on this. What's the plural of orifice?
Orifices.
Mike.
No.
So I meant that figuratively.
I didn't.
Tony is the figurative father of SnarkALec Radio. Just to explain that to Kelly because he didn't understand the figurative part.
Yeah. You're funny, Mike.
Well, I'm not the funny guy on the show. Speaking of which, though, let's turn it over to Tony Solo for the news.
So I guess I'm the funny guy tonight. Wait, hold on.
You're always the funny guy, I think.
I am.
That's what you tell us.
I emphatically told you both before the show I was funny, didn't I?
Yeah, he did.
So
in a very again, bringing back the father motif. You sat us down and told us you were funny. It was a very fatherly moment. You're like, listen, you two, I'm funny.
Okay.
Enough of your
get
shenanigans.
No, I said enough of your malarkey. Didn't I say malarkey? I stopped using shenanigans.
Sorry about that.
So anyway, we've got some news. Yay, news! I wish I had the sound thingy up so I can make myself clap. That would be great.
Here's another way you can make yourself clap, Tony. In case you're wondering, it's kind of a trick. just if you're not familiar, just kind of accelerate the two hands close to each other, make contact. I'm sorry.
So how long have you been hiding those flipper hands from us, Kelly?
Yeah, actually, the flipper hands are there. It's
Well, see, my theory though is that Kelly is vaguely steampunk Patrick Duffy tonight. I think we'll probably have to wait until later in the show to confirm or deny this, but that's where my vote's at for what Kelly is dressed as tonight. What do you think, Tony?
I think he's dressed as one of Dr. Seuss's characters that escaped from the special hospital that he usually resides in. That's what I think.
It's interesting. Well, then, I mean, since we're on right before we get into the news, since we're talking, guesses of what each person is possibly dressed at, Kelly, what do you think Mr. Solo is portraying for us tonight?
I don't know, a prick?
Whoa! Are we even 5 minutes in?
No, we're not in 5 minutes. That's a violation. That's a 4-minute violation.
In the penalty box. Oh, wait. Tony, speak so I can see you. For the radio folks, Tony speaking.
I am speaking now, and I am holding up some objects. One of them being a cell phone, the other one being not a wiffle ball bat, but a baseball bat. Actually, a softball bat.
I know what he is.
I think I do too. And
okay.
Why don't you guess, Mike?
I guess.
I think I was right the first time.
My guess is about to be limping sexting guy.
About to be limping sexting guy. Okay.
I am going to go that Tony is doing a dead-on impersonation. Are you looking for anything, Tony? Let me ask one more question to confirm. Are
Yes,
you
I
looking
am.
for?
I've been looking for something. I've been looking for an object.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I didn't know we were allowed to ask questions.
Yeah, why not? If you, I mean,
That completely changes it then.
So this
okay.
is silent guess. You're the silent guessing. I'm unaware of these rules, Mike. So help me here.
Well, no, I thought it was just throwing out a guess based on their appearance.
Yeah. I apologize for introducing audio commentary in our radio show. Yeah, my apologies, Mike. I don't know what I was
Made
thinking.
it a lot harder for the folks at home to play. They had to visualize it totally in their heads.
100%. Yes.
That's right.
It's movies of the mind, Kelly.
Yes, theater of the mind guy and guy who hates plugs guy getting into it about their respective roles on the show.
So I'm going to guess that Tony is the star of our favorite web series ever. Or it's not really a web series; it's a web film series. The Assistant. I think Tony is Dylan.
Yes, I am the assistant. I am not Dylan.
Assistant.
I am the assistant.
Right.
Oh, now you gave it away.
Well, he guessed
I was
it right.
supposed to frickin' guess.
Yeah, but I thought we were putting our guesses in now, and then like later in the show we'd expose ourselves as what we're dressed as.
Yes. Okay, Mike, you tend to expose yourself almost every show. That is something that you try to find a spot for, and you pretty much do every show. So
I'm allergic to clothes. What can I say?
What makes tonight any different than any other night? But hey, so fun fact about this. Okay, so this is one of the most perfect zombie apocalypse survival weapons that you can get.
I don't know about that. Most perfect, really?
Yes, because for several reasons. One, this is an aluminum softball bat. Okay. It is also not an adult-size softball bat. This is a child-size bat.
What's the advantage of the smaller size?
With a smaller size, when you have an adult bat, if you've ever seen a big softball bat, those things can get pretty long. This one is only, I think it's 30 inches. This is only 30 inches long. So if you're indoors and trying to swing this thing around in a room, you got a better chance of not hitting a wall and hitting your target as opposed to a longer bat that may be 8 to 12 inches longer for an adult.
Wouldn't the longer bat give you a little more weight, though?
Possibly, but then again, when you're in close quarters, you've got a problem with a bat that has a longer barrel and that is just longer in length. The only thing that you can do to this thing to make it a little bit better is maybe putting a spike in one end. One of the problems I have with, and this is not getting into our future, our topics, but in Z Nation, Addy has a bat that's got some spikes in it. And the problem with a bat with spikes in it is something like this, if you swing it at a target and you hit it, it's not going to take a lot of effort to get it back to take another swing. But when you've got spikes in something like this, the barrel of the bat could actually get embedded. And then you would have to yank it out using as much force to get it out as you got it in, wasting time. Because while you're fighting to get that bat out, you could be attacked by several other zombies that are right in your area, as opposed to being able to bam, 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 bam with a,
Well, there you have it, people. It's not about the size of your bat. It's about how you use it.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, Tony seemed very practiced in extolling the virtues of smaller. The question, Mike, I had is: have you ever swung your bat around your room and hit a wall with it?
I unfortunately don't have a.
I'm so glad our guest is
pile
here
of
yet, by the way.
sports equipment here. But sometimes when I'm playing with my tactical hatchets, things get a little out of hand. One of them goes flying across the room. So personally, those would be my weapons of choice after, a gun.
So, Tony, are you familiar with the term tactical hatchet?
No, I am not, but it sounds like an awesome band name. First of all. But is that something like one of those multi-purpose tools that they give soldiers for, like, it's a shovel, it's an axe?
It can be. I've seen tactical hatchets where they have multiple functions, but the ones that I have are specifically weighted for throwing.
Okay. Which, hey, those are anything that you can throw. They're great weapons in any type of survival situation. But the thing is, if you've got two, you only get 2 shots. And if you're in a situation, it could be difficult for you to retrieve your hatchets. These things, first of all, this is aluminum. So you really don't have to worry about durability unless you hit something really hard with it. But you should be able to find these things quite readily. They never run out of ammunition. What kind of range do you get with the tactical hatchet, Mike?
Well, obviously it's great. Close quarters fighting is great. As far as throwing it, it really depends on your own upper body strength and aim.
Okay. Well,
they're not really heavy. I mean, they're easily maneuverable. You don't necessarily have to have a ton of upper body strength to really get it going and get a good spin on it. But if you want it to go far and you want it to penetrate a skull, you're going to need to put a little pressure behind that.
Right. But like I said, if you're carrying a couple of those and you're throwing them, you only get 2 shots. This, just as long as I've got an arm, I can swing my bat around all over the place, and I'm swinging it all around town.
Tony Solo getting his bat everywhere.
Oh yes. There's just so much to say.
Oh yes, Kelly.
Oh goodness, I'm just gonna have to. Never mind.
Kelly, you really sound like you're enjoying it.
No, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I mean, obviously, quality time with the fellow SnarkALec Radio hosts is always something. So there's that. So I do think we probably owe the listeners a little bit of the extended introduction and kind of meandering way to the news.
I was just thinking that, we've gotten so far off track already, we haven't even done the news.
No, we haven't done the news, and there's a reason we haven't done the news.
Yeah. So our guest, Amy Figueroa, Amy Glitters on Twitter, will be joining us shortly, but somebody who will remain nameless, me, probably led Amy to believe that the show started an hour later because, and back me up on this, if you were asked what time zone Alabama was in, what time zone would you think?
I would think it's Central.
Yeah, I would go Central.
Boy, she should have been talking to you guys. Big mistake on her part. Because man, I just you get south of Kentucky, and I figure it's all Eastern.
The thing is, a lot of people think Alabama is a hell of a lot further east than it is.
I did.
Trust me, we're not near Alabama.
What was that on Alabama, Mike?
I said, trust me, Tony and I are not near Alabama right now.
So anyway, we've been we started a couple of minutes late, and we're just trying to kill a little time until Amy can get in, so we can cover all the things that we were going to cover in a timely type fashion. But we're not going to.
As long as we're killing a little bit of time, then neither of you guys guessed what I'm dressed as.
You are the victim of the limping cell phone texter guy.
Ooh. That's a good one. I'm going to say you're photoshopped Mike. You made to glamour shot Mike is what you are.
Okay, so Mike, do a little talking so we can see you.
Okay, so what I am dressed as, and there's a little bit of backstory to this. Kelly, a few weeks ago, when we started discussing, what are we going to do for Halloween, Tony and I suddenly, and Tony was at my office, and suddenly we get a text at the same time. It was a DM on Twitter. We both get the notification, open it up, and it says, "Hey guys, let's be Nazis." And we're both looking at each other
that.
like,
I remember that, but I remember the source being slightly different.
no, this is exactly how it happened. Listen.
Because you can trust Mike.
And it said, "Hey guys, let's be Nazis." So Tony and I are looking at each other a little bit uncomfortable, understandably, I would say. And a couple of minutes later, we get "for Halloween" as the follow-up DM to that. So we were like, oh, okay, he's talking about Nazi zombies because we had watched Zombie Lake and Oasis of the Zombies. The thing is, though, as I'm sure you guys listening at home know, that's a little far. It's a little bit extreme. I like where Kelly's head was at. He was trying to get creative, but we have to keep telling him, like, Kelly, it's not okay to dress as a zombie.
Okay, I seem to remember this. I seem to remember this a little bit differently. My recollection was, hey, are we going to do something for Halloween? This was Mike. Are we going to do something from Halloween? And I said, I don't know if I want to do anything. And Mike's suggestion was, how about we do zombie Nazis? And my response was, well, I don't think that would go too well with Kelly. And before you rebut this, Mike, let's take a break because we've already gone 17 minutes. But you can rebut it when we come back from the break if you want. But
I want to.
Okay.
So on that note, then, we're going to take a quick break here. You're listening to SnarkALec Radio's Halloween special on Live 365's Loud and Loaded station. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Mike, here, of course, with Tony and Kelly on the Loud and Loaded Halloween special on Live 365. And we were just talking about how Kelly is just constantly saying, "Hey, guys, let's be Nazis for Halloween." And some people are saying that they remember it going down a little bit differently. Recap, the way that I said it, it was completely true.
Okay, and I'm gonna say it's just a little sign, Scott McDonald 3. This is Black Sabbath. It's metal. Okay.
So do you have a response to Scott's suggestions for a new costume for you?
No, I'm not going to be Pillow Man or Cushion Man. And close, I am not in a garage. My office has been turned into a storage area. Okay, so I've got outdoor cushions on the shelf that seem to never go outdoor. They're even there in the summertime. I don't know why. But Kelly, did we even forward the suggestion of being Nazi zombies, or is this the first time you're hearing about the Nazi zombie thing? Because I don't even think it was suggested to you. I think I kind of said, no, I don't think Kelly's going to go for that when I was talking to Mike in his office.
Yeah, so the way I remember it, which would be called The Truth.
Okay, wait, hold on. So you're saying I'm not telling the truth?
No, you're pretty close. You're pretty
I'm close.
You're close to the truth.
I'm close to the truth.
The only thing you're missing, and it's not really a lie, maybe I think it's an omission, is that there was only one individual out of the three of us who had a high degree of enthusiasm to be a Nazi zombie, and it wasn't Tony or I.
Well, again, if you remember my story, though, my story was Mike was like, "Hey, Tony, let's be Nazi zombies." And I wasn't too keen on it, and I said, I don't think it's going to fly with Kelly either. So, but I basically told Mike at the time, I am not going to be a Nazi zombie. I am, if this was, quote-unquote, a real radio show where there was no video and there was no pictures being taken of me, I might consider it, but then again, if there's no pictures and nobody can see me, why would I bother doing it in the first place?
So You wouldn't do it as a joke. You would rather dress up as a Nazi for real when we're just alone
Listen.
and having a conversation.
Listen, don't we all dress up as Nazi zombies when we've got nothing better to do? We're sitting at home, drinking some beers, watching football. We put our Nazi zombie costumes on and throw foam bricks at the TV every Sunday, don't we?
Hey, you take out the word football, I'm right there with you.
Me, not so much, but that's okay. You know. I would dare
Whoever
say
thought of it?
There's no. I'm pretty comfortable in saying I've never thought of it.
Whoever thought of the Nazi zombie costume? I decided that it was maybe a little bit inappropriate to go the Nazi route. So
Okay.
I am just a zombie lake-inspired zombie.
Okay, so you're a
Like
zombie.
if one of the
lady.
good guys died, fell in the lake, and became a zombie.
So did you actually put something in your beard? Because like your beard, it looks like you've either were eating a lot of Chef Boyardee for dinner, or
Oh yeah, there's I posted on Instagram and Twitter close-ups of the different parts of it, so you can really see. I'm very proud of the skin, which is hard to see on a webcam.
okay. So do we have any Amy updates?
No, I will work on that. So, carry on.
So do we wanna kind of slowly get into the news now, or?
I think we could.
Oh, okay. So, Hen, hey, just a little bit late, but you want to know something? We're always on time here at SnarkALec Radio, even when we have a time vortex happening. Even when there's a time vortex, we're always on time.
Which is known to happen.
Yes, it is. So, hey, next week, we have a very special birthday coming up on November 5th, which is a Wednesday. It's Corin Nemec's birthday. So his Twitter handle is I am Corin Nemec. He's a SnarkALec. So if you follow the list, you'll see his tweets. Want you guys to all on Wednesday tweet him happy birthday. Hey, and maybe hashtag it SnarkALec Radio. Hey, and maybe include Kelly and Mike in the tweets, and maybe me too. Tweet him often and tweet him nicely. Happy birthday. That's all we have for birthdays. But on Saturday, there is a premiere on Sci-Fi. It's a movie called Apocalypse LA. And it's a premiere. It's not an original, but it's a premiere, so it's something new. I will not be online for that because I've got a previous engagement. But tweet away.
Nazi zombie rally?
Yeah, and what I can do is, I think I've got the IMDb for that movie, and if I have it, and I'm checking now, I will tweet it out just so you people can see what it's about. Next Saturday, the following Saturday after that, okay, so this movie, Apocalypse LA, I do have the IMDb for it, and it was originally titled Disaster LA. So if anybody's interested in seeing what it's about, check my timeline. You'll see.
It was upgraded from disaster to apocalypse status.
Probably, but you see now, whenever I see apocalypse, for some reason I think zombies, and I know that's wrong because zombies don't necessarily have to be part of the apocalypse at all. But yeah,
I mean, I feel like they will be. I think we're all on the same page there, right?
But yeah, and I think we're all on the same page that when you go from disaster to apocalypse, you're talking about definitely that's like going from coach to first class. That's an upgrade, definitely.
Right. Yeah. No, it's definitely an upgrade, but also it upgrades our expectations as a viewer. So I think they set the bar a little higher for themselves with that upgrade.
Now, on November 8th, the movie that is premiering is a Sci-Fi original, and I believe this one has won some awards. It's called Mutant World, and it's a Sci-Fi original premiere on November 8th. I will be around for that one, yay! And that's supposed to be one of the better ones because I believe it did win some awards in Canadian Film Festival and stuff. So we're looking at a good one there. Dylan knows. Let me check my Twitter timeline because as far as I know, I think Dylan knows. Is going to be on Sunday. Mike, do you have any inside information on that?
I have no inside information on this upcoming episode of Dylan Knows, but I do highly suggest everyone watch the previous episode of Dylan Knows because the panel was incredible.
Cool. And would that statement have anything to do with you were one of the people on the panel?
It could, but I'm going to say that I'm divorcing myself from this, and strictly as a viewer, with no bias whatsoever, I was brilliant.
Okay, so I'm telling people I'm funny, and you're just telling people that you're brilliant. But I'm doing it before the show, and you're doing it during the show.
Right. Correct.
So,
and also the McGivnas were on, and they were excellent.
Well, hey, talking about the McGivnas, next Thursday, the McGivnas both, John and Helena Sidepiece, are going to be on. So next Thursday.
Really excited that we're stealing them away from Dylan.
No, we didn't steal them. They were claimed. See, Dylan forgets to claim his guests, so they've been claimed.
Well, that's what happens. I mean, Dylan is just on his way to Terminus, and we're the claimer gang out there making our way through this crazy world.
And speaking about Dylan and the assistant,
I love the assistant.
The Twitterverse is really in an uproar over the idea that there might be. I mean, we can't stop the phones from ringing. I'm getting so many calls I had to shut off my ring. You see my thing is blinging. You know, is there going to be a Halloween special? Is there going to be a Halloween special episode of The Assistant? I don't know.
Well, see, and that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize. We don't have any special insider information. So even though, you know, obviously we're all friends with Dylan, we've had Dylan on this show. I mean, Dylan obviously
it's a little generous. I'm not really willing to sign on to friends with Dylan. I'll go with aware of.
I was, Dylan. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
I'm your friend.
Okay.
So some of us are your friends here, but without question, Dylan has been our most frequent guest on SnarkALec Radio.
Okay. So a couple of tweets. First of all, we didn't get to Boo of the Week yet, and we're holding off on that one. But Scotty booed himself, and he should have, because when I held up my little Black Sabbath little tour poster, which is metal, Scotty wanted to know if it was heavy metal, but then he booed himself. And actually, he should have hit himself with my zombie attitude adjusting tool here.
Or we could send Cushion Man after him.
Yeah, okay. All right, man in weird hat.
All right, Shane. I need to get working on the Cushion Man theme song.
Absolutely.
And Lee says that whenever she watches football, she puts on her Fraulein outfit. So I wonder if she dresses up as a zombie Fraulein when she's watching football games. And Holly Wilson is listening too, so we'll say hi to Holly Wilson. But Vicky Adesso, where is she? I don't see Vicky Adesso here.
Vicky has been very quiet. We seem to be an Adesso-free show, which is not my favorite kind of show. I like the Vicky Adesso show. But,
yeah,
so
I don't know if we can really tolerate this.
It's not good. We may just have to stop the show right now with no Vicky Adesso. So Amy update. She's probably within 5 minutes of joining us. For some reason, the police officers in the Alabama Central Time Zone state frown upon active use of your phone while you're in a car, and so she had to discuss that with them a little bit. But fortunately, I think due to her knowledge of something, she was able to talk her way out of a ticket. So little. This is the kind of thing our guests put in, is they're willing to fight the law to join us on SnarkALec Radio and keep us updated on their progress.
I mean, I do sometimes believe that there is a government-led conspiracy against this show.
Well, I can't understand how that could happen when everybody knows that the Pope actively watches this show and he bases his sermons on things that we talk about on this show.
He frequently DMs us on Twitter.
That's right.
To get our feedback on things.
I'm going to say I have not been a recipient of one of these DMs, but if Mike has been getting DMs from him, I'm going to say that's probably 100% true, not a lie at all.
Dominus Molibo is what the Pope DMs are. They're in Latin. They're nice. Yeah, and the nice thing about, we can talk about this on our show. I know that there's another show that talks about the assistant that's out there, and they're like, pussies about even using a confessional, but we're here talking about the Pope. And the Pope texted us, because that's what we do.
We have no problem saying that the Pope not only actively watches our show, but frequently bounces ideas off of us. We're the sounding board for the Pope. I feel comfortable saying that.
Yep. Top 3 Cardinals right here, man.
Yeah, we're the Cardinals starting lineup. I'm playing first, Kelly's pitching, and Mike is playing shortstop.
This is the A squad.
Yeah, on the Pope softball team. That's what we're doing. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, so if you hear a papal speech in the coming weeks that seems a little off to you, you basically know who to blame.
Yes, sir. Okay. He starts talking about swinging his bat around, hitting walls with it.
Wait, hold on. So we were talking about Mike's other show, okay? I watched Mike's other show the other day, okay? And the 2 guys on that show with him are pretty good. I mean, better than we are on this show.
Carry the show.
I'm going to go as far as to say those other 2 guys make the show.
Well, but it seems to me that the whole formula for that show is using the assistant just as an excuse to get together and talk, and then have Mike say something that is totally outrageous and outlandish just to get the other 2 guys to laugh. That's what it seems like that show is about to me.
I love getting together with those guys and talking ass with them all night. But the thing that I'm going to say where I disagree a little bit with you is I don't think I've said anything on that show that could be considered outlandish. Could you give me an example?
Could I give you an example? Let's see. There was, in one show, there was the bat penis. The bat as the phallic symbol. In the last episode, it was the Kelly. What was it?
I can't remember. I can't recall. I just really want Mike in a "I'm Batman" voice to say his other catchphrase.
Which catchphrase is that?
The bat one that Tony mentioned a little earlier.
I can't recall. What was it?
I'll put it in the chat window for you.
I really need to hear your inflection so I know exactly how you want me to deliver the line.
How do you deal with disappointment, fella?
That penis.
No, I can't do it. I want to do it, but I can't do it.
Batman.
Come on. Do it.
Batman, you cannot save Gotham City. You and your bat penis. See, I can't even do it and not stop.
Kelly, come out of the bat penis closet. Just do the line for us.
There's not a good band name, by the way.
You and your bat
one at all.
penis must leave Gotham now. Batman. Batman, you smell like farts, Batman.
So this is what happens when we stall for time. This is not a good thing. It's a very bad thing.
Batman.
Close.
Batman, what is oozing off of your bat penis? There's something oozing off of it. What is that, Batman? Yeah.
Do we have time for a break?
Yeah, let's just take a break.
Take a little break here, kind of
We
collect
get a break
ourselves,
here.
reflect.
All right. I'll take us to break, I guess. Tony, are you ready to give us good fisting?
Dead air.
Okay, then.
Did you think I was going to give you an affirmative answer to that?
I kind of did. So, okay, I'm going to take that then. Okay. Tony just fisted me hard on that one. So it's time for us to take a quick break. You are listening to SnarkALec Radio on Live 365's Loud and Loaded station, and we'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to SnarkALec Radio on Live 365's Loud and Loaded station. You're listening, of course, to Tony Solo, Kelly Bat Penis Tool, and I'm Mike. Really? Really?
Holy shit. And you know, wait, hold on. The show's been on for a half an hour, and we still haven't gotten through the news. I just want to point that out.
Yeah. And who's got the news
Kelly
today?
Bat Penis Tool.
No, about it. Well, because somebody fucked up and doesn't know their time zones, and we're, stolen for time here.
I would argue, yeah.
Okay, so before you throw it back at me, so there is another news item that we have that actually we should have talked about last week, but this is Mike's news item, so I'm going to turn it over to him and let him talk about it.
Thank you, Tony. So if everyone can look at my lower third right now who's watching this video, and anyone who's listening at home can just do a Google search for it, under my name here for those video viewers, you will see a website address. It's actually hulu.com/watch/ a bunch of numbers. Type all that, type those numbers in, and you can watch my movie Evil Bong with a new added segment or segments to it and some commentary by Elvira. So you can actually watch this for free right now during the Halloween season. I don't know how long they're going to keep it up there for free, but I do know that I believe the rental cost after it will no longer be free is like $3, and you can purchase and download it for, I believe, $7.
Okay, but you could still purchase it even when it's free.
Yes, you can purchase it now. Even though it's free to stream right now, you can purchase it with the Elvira commentary and added scenes.
Okay, so this is something that we should have maybe talked about last week because I know Halloween is tomorrow, and
Well, it was something that I am not in control of it going up.
All right.
Or I'm not in control of the time frame.
Are you really, Mike? You're not really.
Kelly's usually the one who's in charge of making sure that things go up and stay up. And he works hard at it.
Yeah.
I mean rigid.
So I'd like to take a moment because Mike, talking again, please, for a moment. Speak, thank you. So when Mike, for the folks listening on the radio that want to go to hulu.com/watch, and then as Mike said it, a bunch of numbers, which might be a little bit hard to type into your browser window. If you want to narrow that down, maybe the bunch of numbers you could type is 701889. That's hulu.com/watch 701889. Otherwise known in Mike speak as a bunch of numbers.
Or you can just Google Elvira Evil Bomb.
Hey, operators are standing by. Operators are standing by.
I do want to throw it out there that you should have already seen Evil Bong by now. Just being a good human and a good citizen on this planet. You should have already seen the film. But even if you have already seen it, you haven't seen it with these Elvira scenes and commentary added to it. So it's going to be a completely new experience for you.
Okay, so I have a question. How old is Elvira at this point?
Cassandra Peterson is well into her 60s.
Just her 60s?
I believe so. Still incredibly hot, though.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen a recent picture. I mean,
No, I'm letting you know.
okay. Well, yeah, but then
Yeah, we all trust your judgment.
I've had the very good pleasure of meeting Cassandra Peterson a few times now, and she's great.
she should be the character you base your cushion monster after.
Oh, Cushion Monster? No, this is Cushion Man. He's
Cushion
a
Man.
superhero.
Cushion Man.
Cushion Man. Kelly and I are going to work out the theme song for you. Don't worry. It's going to be amazing. But yeah, the reason I didn't let anybody know about this before this is I have no control over things like this going up, the type of licensing that's involved in that. That's all handled by the distributor of the film, and they don't ask for my input on these things.
Batman, it's cold. Come to bed, Batman. We can snuggle.
Okay.
So Kelly, Bat Penis Tool, are you going to watch Evil Bong?
I'm going to refuse to respond to that name. How about that?
Batman, your feet are cold.
Actually, I will respond if we can stop Bane from joining us. Non sequiturs.
just to interrupt Bane then and stretch it out a little bit longer. One thing I can also say is I do not know whether or not this is the edited for television version or the uncut version of the film. So check it out when it's free first before you download it. And if they say fuck a whole bunch of times, it's the uncut version. So if you're confused, that's how you can tell.
Is there okay? So would that be the only way to tell, or would there be some nudity and some violence also?
There's nudity. There's very little violence. As far as I know, the violence remains intact in both the cut and uncut versions.
So do you prefer cut or uncut, Mike?
I like uncut. You know, all the meat you can get on there. The first.
So, hey, will you guys say hi to Amy for me when she joins? Because I think I'm going to go. I'm going to leave now.
You're just going to bail out of this one now?
Yeah,
Fine, Bad Penis. You just leave us high and dry.
Batman, don't go. I'm sorry. Come back, Batman. I'll stop watching the bed.
Her laptop's booting up, I think. So please come, make this stop.
Okay, so as usual on Friday, we're still doing the news.
Still doing the news. Best opening to a show ever.
I'm sorry, I got tears in my eyes. Tomorrow on Sci-Fi is Z Nation. We're going to talk about. Hey, we didn't mention the topics, and I think we're going to have to buzz through some of these by the time Amy gets here because she's actually going to get here by 9 Central.
Yeah, the time that she thought it was. Some idiot. Yeah, that's what time it is.
So, we're going to meet Amy. We're going to talk about Gotham. Briefly, probably. Z Nation, The Walking Dead, and we do not have a game, so if you're hanging around for a game, people, we don't have one. But Z Nation's going to be on again tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
I mean, you can still watch the show, though. Like, if you were into it just for the game, I promise you, the rest of it's still entertaining.
Oh,
The part that's coming up. Just any minute now, this is going to become entertaining, and you just wait. You know, we're dragging it out, but then
Don't let Bat Penis scare you off. It's going to be a solid episode.
Batman, I want Kelly's hat, Batman. Get me his hat.
We got Hey, Sunday, The Walking Dead. What cooler way to end a Halloween, though, to have a zombie TV show to watch? We got The Walking Dead, and we can't do Boo of the Week because we're holding
on.
Scott.
We're going to give, Boo of the Week we can give because the news item I thought that'd be a good time, but we're going to give it to Scott for his heavy metal one. And why don't you and Mike talk for a second? I'm going to shut my camera off and mute for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. So,
what do you think he's really doing?
I don't know, but I think he started to get a little bit uncomfortable when I asked you about cut and uncut, and I think he may have started to get a little bit warm. So I don't know. Maybe he needs to take care of business.
It could be, or maybe he's just reliving a traumatic experience.
It could be. Maybe that's why he doesn't like me doing that Bane voice, because maybe, you know, something happened that was inappropriate when he was a child, and he's having flashbacks now. It's quite possible. I mean,
I wasn't even necessarily going there with it. I was just going to say maybe he experienced the cutting a little bit later in life than some others do, and flinched, and it just, I can see that going bad really quickly.
Okay, so that's why he wasn't reacting very well to the swinging of the bat type thing.
Right, and that's why, like, I was trying to help out and boost his self-esteem by calling him Bat Penis.
Yeah, I don't think that was helping.
You don't?
No, not at all.
Oh, well, in fact, I was going to say maybe we should both start calling him Bat Penis, but if you don't think it's helping.
Oh, wait, hold on. Where's Kelly? Because I think Amy's coming in. Kelly? Meet Amy.
Hi.
So, Amy's coming in just in time to do a break and for us to start the show.
Awesome.
Okay, Kelly's making himself all purdy now.
Oh, come on. Vaguely steampunk Patrick Duffy.
So, why don't we take a break, and hopefully right in the middle of the break, Amy will pop up, and then we'll be able to hear her. But she's
Sounds
like,
good to me. For you video viewers, this might be a 10-minute break.
Yes.
So you are listening to SnarkALec Radio on Live 365's Loud and Loaded station, and we will be right back.
Okay. It looks like she's eating dinner.
Pizza roll.
No, it's Tic Tac.
It's Tic Tacs. That's a great dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, that was not necessary.
Sorry, I'm late.
It's okay. We blame
Not
Kelly.
your fault, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's come back from break. You're listening to SnarkALec Radio on Live 365's Loud and Loaded station. We are here, of course, with Kelly Bat Penis Tool, Tony Solo, and finally our guest has arrived, and since it's Kelly's fault that our guest is running a little bit late, Kelly, why don't you take care of introducing her to everybody?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after much delay, Amy Figueroa has joined us. Amy Glitters on Twitter. You know her and love her on Friday and Saturday night tweets. She's extremely funny on there, and she's been a great SnarkALec for a while, and we're really glad to have you there. And she lives in Alabama, which I don't know if all of you know this, but Alabama is in the Central Time Zone. So a little fun fact. So say hi. Yeah, say hi to everybody, Amy.
SnarkALec Radio.
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm good. On my way home, I don't know if Kelly told y'all, I got pulled over for texting and driving because of all the Twitter notifications coming in. But I did not get a ticket.
Now, how did you talk your way out of the ticket?
I didn't. It was boobs.
Okay.
That's what I think it was.
It's non-verbal communication.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it wasn't, you said, I have to respond to this because it's regarding SnarkALec Radio. It wasn't that?
No, I don't think so.
I was hoping.
I have
Hope didn't intercede.
It's not.
I have heard that if you mention SnarkALec Radio, if you are in the middle of a traffic stop, they will give you an extra ticket for disorderly conduct just for being associated with the radio show. So it's probably a good thing that she didn't mention us.
Probably.
But we're super glad to have you join us. Apologies for the confusion. And it's all my fault.
No problem.
It's not really
Okay.
confusion. You just made a mistake, Kelly.
A horrible, horrible mistake, yes.
Horrible mistake.
Sometimes I think Kelly makes these
You're our
mistakes
bad.
on purpose. He makes these mistakes on purpose so we can punish him. That's the part
I
that
know.
he likes.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
He loves it.
Hey, Kel,
Tone?
you have what's that above your right shoulder?
That's the egg from the movie Piranaconda.
What? How do you have the egg from the movie Piranaconda?
Not many people know this, but actually everybody knows it. So yeah, I got the frickin' egg from Piranaconda. But let's talk about tonight, because Midgie Girl's about ready to kind of take me and the egg out if I repeat the story one more time. She made that very clear on Twitter last week, so I'm scared to go into detail. But I do really want to talk about it because this is oftentimes we try and have the egg dress up to honor our guest. And so I thought about putting a Central Time Zone sticker on it, but instead, the egg tonight is, yes, it is. It's RKO. RK, if you haven't done a search on RKO Randy Orton, see Randy Orton RKOing the internet, Randy Orton is RKOing the egg tonight.
That's awesome. Thanks.
That is cool. So,
I would have liked to have heard the egg story, but maybe you can DM me on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll go back a show.
well, I mean, if there was a first-time listener, which possibly happens, and they don't know the backstory of the egg and how you won it during a contest that Sci-Fi was running when they premiered the movie Piranaconda, and how of the two prop eggs that they had, one of them was lost because it fell off the boat and went into the river, and the one that you had was actually fondled by Terry Ivins and Michael Madsen. Some people would think that was cool.
Did you ever think you'd have Michael Madsen fondle your egg?
Figuratively. I just need to pause for a second because I'm fairly certain. Hey, Doug Close, FYI, enemy of the state. So Doug Close has just indicated the only reason I'm on SnarkALec Radio is the egg. If I didn't have the egg, I wouldn't be on SnarkALec Radio. So Dougie boy, welcome to Enemies of the State.
Yeah. So if you're not on the Enemy of the State list, you're just... Hey, is Amy on the list yet?
Not yet. Not yet. She got close. because I was starting to get... I was getting pretty irritated with how quick she was getting the puns out there and stealing the thunder, and so then I complained about it, and she was nice enough to offer to say, well, if you like, I'll wait 5 minutes to see if you can catch up.
Oh, and that didn't get her on the list.
Wait, Amy, I got to give you a virtual fist bump for that one.
Okay. Is that what you mean by fisting?
No.
Well, that's what I mean. It's not necessarily what Tony means.
No. What Mike means by fisting is when we take our fake breaks, sometimes when somebody's talking, you don't want to interrupt them. So what I do is I throw out a fist, and sometimes I throw out two, and sometimes I do this. And this is when Mike says Tony is fisting me hard. This is what I'm doing because I'm trying to let him know, or Kelly know, that it's time for us to take a break because we're only supposed to go maximum about 15 minutes before we break, or else they will just cut parts of the show and they'll break in, put a commercial, and when it comes out of commercial, they may not, be in the exact place where it's supposed to be. So.
Okay. I totally had that wrong.
Yeah.
You should be glad.
Well, there is a little after show segment where I think this means what you think it means.
Yeah, I'm a little upset.
So.
There you go.
So we're about to talk about the World Series. Have any of you?
My favorite thing, football.
Has anybody watched any of the games?
Just the sixth game, though, the blowout game. Mike, don't get excited. Just means they led by a lot.
Now, doesn't one of the Spice Girls' husbands play this sport?
No. You're thinking of the guy who plays water polo.
If you say so.
I think that's what he plays.
Hey, are we still in news, by the way?
Yeah, we're still in the news.
I don't think we ever officially finished the news yet.
We never finished the news.
And I just want to point out, Tony's doing the news today. So for all the judgments about the way I do the news, we're, 40 minutes into the show, and Tony hasn't gotten through the news yet.
No, we're actually 50 minutes in, and the request was that Kelly had a special announcement, but he wanted to wait until Amy got here. So Amy's here. So actually...
Don't say, oh, yeah, you don't know what it is.
No, catch. Hold on a second.
Talking about Kelly, this could really go either way.
Hold on a second.
I thought we...
Okay. We're into Boo of the Week, and whenever we get to the Boo of the Week section of the news, that's where Kelly usually takes over. So Kelly's been really, really late getting to his Boo of the Week.
I have, and doubly compounded by the fact that I don't have a Boo of the Week for the week, except we are going to give it to Scott McDonald for his heavy metal tweet earlier today. So congratulations, Scott McDonald. Boo of the Week, plus he gets extra bonus for coming up with Cushion Man as the new superhero. So big night for Scott, huge night. But the announcement is related to Boo of the Week because Amy was kind enough 2 weeks ago when I had some conflicts to take over the duties of trying to throw out the worst puns possible during a show, and she did an outstanding job, and thank you for that, Amy. One of the things I discovered as she started to tweet more is that she was better than I was at this stuff.
Never.
And
So that's a news announcement?
no, that's
There are
not.
people who are better than you?
Better than you, Kelly.
No.
There are a lot of people better than you. Come on.
Yes, true. But it was clear to me Amy in particular was very strong her pun was strong, and so your choices then are to try and go toe-to-toe, and that's where I got the whole I'll wait 5 minutes for you to catch up, Skipper. So we did that conversations, but instead we've decided to join forces. And so we did a pilot version of it last week during Z Nation, so I wanted to announce that tomorrow, on Friday, during Z Nation, you will see the return of Team Amy Cal, where Amy and my profile images will switch over to a bear getting an RKO, because Amy's best pun so far was barely made it from Chernobyl Diaries. And we'll be working together as a team to ruin the movie for everybody else.
You're all welcome.
Our gift to you.
And I believe because I said Piranaconda, I believe Lee is stalking you now, Kelly. So, achievement unlocked.
Yeah, Lee, it wasn't me. I tried to get by it this time. It was you to go after Tony. But yep. So Team Amy Cal, we did a pilot, did pretty well last week. Seems to work out. You'll see the bear with the RKO, a little more Mr. Orton, and we'll do her up on Z Nation.
And I think I have a newsflash here. Boys, you're about to lose your minds. Posting a new episode of The Assistant in about 5 minutes. My favorite episode ever.
Fuck yeah, we bring the best news. It was totally worth stretching the news out to practically an hour so that Kelly could let us know for the first time that there's people who are better at tweeting than him.
That was 28 seconds ago, so by about 10:13, we should have a new assistant, and we'll probably watch it right after the show. Oh, my God. Mike, when are you going to do your next Talking Assistant show? I must watch.
I don't know. It's very clandestine. It really depends on those two other guys. One of them is on some sort of a registry and has to check in with his parole officer to make sure that we can do the show, because normally he's not allowed near a webcam. It has to do with his arrest. I can't get into the whole big thing. He wears wool hats, though. And, of course, the other guy's just awesome.
So
Hey, you want to talk about...
Doug Close tweeted out an internet fist bump, and I'd let people know about it if Doug wasn't an ass. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Doug, I'm fist bumping you back.
So do we want to talk about...
We're ready to spread the fists around the nation.
Ouch.
It's like We Are the World, but with fists.
So, Mike?
It's our gift to humanity.
Mike, do we want to talk about Gotham, Mike?
Sure.
At 10 after 10?
10 after. Let's get into our first segment.
So you know whose fault it is when the news runs this long? Ultimately, it's not the news guy's fault. It's the host. There's a captain of this ship, and he sucks tonight.
You're right, Kelly. I should have grabbed onto that rudder harder and pulled. So let's get into Gotham here. So Amy, where are you at with Gotham?
It's DVR'd. I haven't watched it yet.
Have you been watching the show up until this point?
Mm-mm. I've seen maybe like 20 minutes of it.
Oh my goodness gracious! So we're gonna scrap Gotham for tonight because we don't want to.
What I'm going to say is the Robot Sex Club is going to blow your mind. It's crazy. Crazy.
What? You guys can talk about it. I don't care about spoilers.
Well, I mean, I think we could share our vague sort of opinion on it without giving her any kind of spoilers. Just what did you guys think about the episode? Rate it 1 to 10.
The most recent episode, I'd give that a 9.5.
I give it a 5 because my favorite artist wasn't in it. Catwoman girl.
So, Amy, do you know about Kelly's Catwoman
girl?
Yeah, she's like,
Kelly, she was in it.
Really?
Yeah, she was in it. He's just pretending like he didn't notice her.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I just didn't notice. Yeah. So no, I would give it. So Tony, what were you at?
He's playing.
I said 9.5. I gave it a 9.5.
I'll go 8.5.
I gotta go about an 8, and the only reason I'm coming.
Wait, hold on. Did you actually give it a number? I thought you were going to give it like Caribou or something like that.
Didn't let me finish. I'm giving it an 8 instead of the original rating of Dulcimer. And the reason that I'm doing that, and I'm coming down to the pedestrian level of acknowledging numbers, is because I didn't think it was necessary to give the character, I'm not going to say who because I don't want to give any spoilers away for Amy, but to give one of the main characters a little bit more of a sympathetic backstory. I didn't think that was necessary. Great episode, great story. I just don't like that they did that. It wasn't necessary.
Would you consider that a sympathetic backstory? Because I thought that...
I think it gave the viewer a little bit more understanding of him and why he is the way he is, and I don't think that was necessary.
The dude's
hardened by the city. I don't think we needed it explained.
Well, I just...
Not that it was bad. It just, to me, was unnecessary.
I was a little bit freaked out because I thought, getting back to Kelly, that the dude's mom was batshit crazy. There was something weird about the way she was kind of hovering over him while he was in the bathtub, which seemed to be like right in the middle of the house, which was freaking strange in itself.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember 6 months ago, I stood up to my mom and I was like, "This is it. This is the end. You are not coming in here while I'm bathing anymore."
Tonight.
That's it, Mom. I'll sponge my own back.
I'm watching this tonight.
It's good.
I'm so confused right now.
It's a fine young actress in there.
The Penguin character is incredible.
That is so
creepy. I've read a lot about him. I'm pretty excited about him.
The actor is doing such a great job.
Yeah, and it's just so, and I still can't get over that he was Sam in Walking Dead.
He died in The Walking Dead,
cool.
and he did not. Actually, I just rewatched that episode tonight before the show. I went to my DVR and I said, and I just picked that. That episode was so good, the first one. So, any predictions about what's going to happen in Gotham without trying to give too much away?
Well, great ending to this episode with the reveal of that particular character still being alive, the way that he did it, such a big dramatic fashion, because I like that it kind of threw everyone's perceptions of Jim off.
Well, I thought it was awesome because of the way, what's his name, Bullock? Is that his partner's name? The way he did a complete, 180 on Jim once he realized what happened. I thought it was hysterically funny, everybody's confused. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. And I was like, damn, that was a great way. I mean, they did it in, it was a very showy way that they did it. But for that show, it was appropriate.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to figure out because, according to kind of how the storyline's been told, now that this information's out, Gordon's a dead man. I mean, that was kind of so it'll be interesting to see how. Well, I assume he's not.
I'm going to make the assumption that there's the two factions, right? And Gordon and Cobblepot were out from the one faction, but Cobblepot is in on the other faction, and now so is Gordon. So I think Gordon is going to be protected from the one side by the other, which there's going to be a war. It's going to come anyway.
I completely agree with Tony's summary of that. I think the other side is going to step in and protect Gordon. I think the war is imminent and necessary. I just think it's going to be cool. I think the show is handling things in a really good way, and I think it's just going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and I think basically what's going to happen is Fish is going to take over because she's going to use the Russian. Fish is going to get the Russian to kill the boss. The boss is going to kill the Russian, and Fish is going to come out smelling like roses.
Which is ironic since her name's Fish.
Fish.
That wasn't a very vague description, by the way.
No.
Like at all.
And then
I'm pretty caught up now.
She was wearing this red sequins dress that you could almost see right through. And for an 8 o'clock show on Fox,
we're talking about Kelly right now.
The 16-year-old.
So, how about we move on? Do some zombie stuff.
So would you guys like to move on to our next scheduled topic then?
Right after the break.
Right after the break. That's what I meant. You give me a chance, Kelly.
Sorry. Sorry.
So, we're going to take a quick break here. You are listening to SnarkALec Radio with myself, of course, Kelly, and Tony as usual, and our very special guest who joined us this segment, Amy. Say hello to everybody again. And we'll be right back from this break. Welcome back to SnarkALec Radio on Live 365's Loud and Loaded station. Joining us, as always, Kelly Bat Penis Tool, Tony Solo, and our special guest tonight, Amy.
I so hate you. God, I hate you.
You don't get to pick your nicknames. They come naturally. That's how nicknames work.
I hate you. Amy. Let's talk to Amy about Z Nation. Please.
So, where are you at on Z Nation? Oh, you must have muted yourself, Amy.
Yeah, is your microphone red or the little... Oh.
Are you plugged in?
You didn't mute her, right?
No, I did not. You'd see a red microphone. Okay. She was muted.
So, Amy, take your cursor over the screen there, and on the top you'll see a camera and a microphone. And if the microphone is red right now, click on it. And because you're muted, we can't hear you. Maybe unplug your headphones and plug them back in.
She did.
Kelly's awesome. Kelly's awesome. Mike's a lying piece of crap. I don't know why he says the things he says. That's a good point, Amy. I really appreciate that.
That doesn't sound like the Amy I know.
How did this happen? This was just can't hear you still. Try it. Can you hear us, Amy? Okay. Try unplugging your headset and plug it back in.
Come back to bed, Kelly.
Once you plug it back in, try screaming Kelly Bat Penis Tool.
Do not try doing that.
Batman has left me, Kelly.
We still can't hear you. This is very strange. This has not been a good.
Yeah, no, actually, when Mike said to say hi, I saw her moving her lips, but I heard nothing. Are you, Amy, are you on a Mac or a PC? You're on a Mac? Oh, she said PC? Okay. So she didn't mute, because there's only,
This is very strange. It's the first time this has ever happened to us on SnarkALec.
Yes, in mid show, someone has lost their audio. She's not muted because if she was muted, she's muted now.
Yeah, take it off.
Okay, now the microphone's gone. So Amy, if you go up to if you put your mouse cursor on the screen, you'll see something that looks like a little gear, and if you click on the gear, it should show you what your microphone is and what your speakers are. If you can change them to default and then say save, change them other than line in. I think I just froze.
Oh. Well, I hear
What about now?
Yes,
Did
you're
everybody
good. You're good, man.
Am I good?
Okay. Did that take care of it? And Kelly's being a dick by just like
No.
mouthing stuff but not
Yeah.
saying anything.
So now's a good time to say Kelly bat penis tool.
I'm back. It does not say that.
So did my suggestion fix it? Because I actually froze for a second. Just changing it and changing it back.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It worked.
Okay, cool. So where are you at on Gotham? Gotham.
No.
No, we already know that. Where are you at on Z Nation?
Tony's not
We
that
already
into
talked about that.
Oh, you talked about
Well,
Z
I'm
Nation?
pretty caught up on
What
Gotham.
is Alabama in? Let's start back there.
I'm caught up on Z Nation.
So what do you
Right.
think? What do you think about the show overall? And then we'll talk about the most recent episode while I try and figure out which end of this bat I'm going to hit Kelly with.
Oh, I love it so far. It's good every week.
You have a favorite
Funny.
character?
I do.
Mind sharing?
Well, I was thinking about it. I really like Addie, but this last episode they didn't really have her in there a lot, so she's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I wonder why they did that. I wonder why they separated those two off from the rest of the group. But I thought
Yeah.
it was like it was like a really weird. It was one of their weirdest ones.
It was.
But at one point, I think it was Laura Norman who said that Z Nation is like having a mini sci-fi movie every week because it has all of the elements of a regular sci-fi movie. But this, I mean, not that it wasn't a good episode because I liked the episode. It was just weird. I think they really needed to have one character. I mean, there was some really awesome special effects in the episode. But what's the character's name that her boyfriend got killed? Rebecca?
No, Roberta.
Roberta.
Roberta?
I'm sorry. Yeah. So like Roberta just went on that long bender, which was kind of funny. But I don't know, man. What's happening with your buddy Murphy there, Kel?
Well, so he's certainly willing to sacrifice himself for the greater good, since he was willing to demonstrate that a zombie wouldn't bite him. So as I've explained to all of you, and Tony's like, no. He's ultimately, while a little prickly, a noble man, willing to help the group and take the extra risk for them. So, but it does not look good for him at all.
He lost his tooth.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you because I'm thinking that Murphy, when he took that guy outside, when he hit him with the rock and then ended up biting him, Oh, and I was one of the first people to predict that that guy was going to be immune, and he ended up being immune because he got bit by Murphy. But it looked like Murphy was going to just get into any kind of car and get the F out of there. He wasn't going to stick around and do nothing for the good of the group unless it, served his purpose, which is to survive.
So he could have, but he could have sat in that zombie cage and let him take everybody out, couldn't he?
He wanted to get out of that zombie cage.
He lifted the latch. It wasn't hard for him to get out of the zombie cage.
Right, but he had to do it in such a way where they weren't going to attack him either, because those religious freak people, I'm sure, they didn't, even though they call them the resurrected, they're still standing there with guns and willing to, save their own lives. But yeah, it suited him at that time.
Suited the group at that time. Every time before, I'm with you, but this time, because it suited the group. Murphy could have just sat there and let him take everybody out.
We're 5 episodes in, and he did one thing to help the group, and that was it. So that makes him a good guy.
I didn't say he's a good guy. I just like him. So
okay.
You just have too high of standards for him.
I mean,
track of who's doing what for the group. It's not a scorecard.
That's right. Everyone wins.
Well, let's put it this way: you don't need a scorecard because it seems like everybody is contributing to the group except for Murphy, who is the one thing that's that they're trying to protect, and he's done one thing. Every 10K has killed about 200
mankind.
zombies.
Just one thing: saved mankind.
Not yet. Not yet.
That one, if he's able to do it though, that one thing he gets some bonus points for that.
You would think.
There was a tweet after he bit the guy, and he goes in and he pulls the tooth out and puts it back in his mouth. There was a tweet where someone just tweeted out, and I was hysterical. It doesn't work that way, That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Was the actual tweet, and I was like, that was pretty funny. But that was like one of the grossest things I've ever seen. But I mean, there was a lot of goodness, and I want to say good scenes, but I want to say goodness in the episode. I like the shooting match.
The Wild West.
Yeah, the Wild West type. And when they walk into the place and like, of course, the other guy wearing the freaky hat, Doc has to know, right? Like any kind of freaky looking guy that they run into during this whole zombie apocalypse, like it's going to be like one of Doc's friends or someone that hates Doc, or one of Doc. We haven't run into one of Doc's ex-wives yet, but I'm sure we're going to get one of those. But I think the bar scene was probably the bar scene near the end, when all the shooting started going off and Roberta went crazy. That was pretty cool. That whole ending sequence was pretty funny. The guy that was in the outhouse there with his pants down to his ankles.
That was a good one.
So out of all the different ways that zombies have died are different. We've had a zombie NATO, we've had Amish zombies, we've had a porta potty death. You have a favorite moment so far in Z Nation, Amy, in terms of kind of everything you've seen so far?
I liked the ice cream truck, the little like shooting range that they had. I liked that. That was fun.
And I think they should carry that forward into Walking Dead, because that would be a nice little... Although Merrill kind of did it.
He did the Pied Piper thing with the car, yeah. But I mean, that was just so like off the wall because they used the ice cream truck, and everybody was tweeting out like, "I want ice cream now," because they were actually playing the ice cream jingle.
The ice cream song.
Yeah, they had to do that. Like if that made that whole scene. But I liked the first shot goes and gets the guy in the outhouse. The other bullet comes through the bar, grazes Roberta's cheek, and hits the guy behind the bar.
Mhm.
And she looks like she's totally out of it, but then all of a sudden, she's taken out all her frustrations, and that's all she needed was just to beat the crap out of some kind of zombie and put Garrett's face on it. But hey, what can you do? It was a little bit predictable when at the end when 10K gives the rifle away and everybody's like, "What are you doing? That's stupid." Blah, blah. You knew she was going to end up saving his life with the gun, even though she was only like 2 feet away.
Yeah, but 10K is starting to become a liability because any not so pretty, his head gets turned very easily. So far, it seems. So
He hasn't really run into what you would consider a Catwoman girl, then.
Well, here goes the problem. That rifle is a 50 cal, and I don't care what anybody says. When you shoot one of those things off, you're going to get. I mean, like you can't be running around and shooting it. You got to put it down on the tripod, and you got to shoot it from a shooting position, or else that thing's going to just take your shoulder right out of the socket, and you're going to be. Having one arm that's like that, but hey, it's, it is what it is. 50
and they're
counts.
where now? Statewide? They're Missouri? No.
Oh, wait.
Kansas.
They're in Kansas.
Right?
Kansas.
Yes, they're in Kansas.
Same thing. There's no difference between Kansas and Missouri.
Not at all.
No, just
like with the time zones.
Yeah.
Central, same thing.
Thanks again for joining us, Amy. We'll see you.
You're welcome.
It is strange though because they are getting. I mean, we don't know what the time frame is. It seems like they're scampering across the country, but at the rate they're going, they should be in California. I'm going to say in 3 weeks, but I don't think they're going to make it there. I'm thinking they're going to have to get detoured. But are they going to be able to get past this big line of zombies? And where is Addie? Are they on the other side of it? If so, how did they get there?
Well, they showed them at the end, right? And they're on the. I mean, we don't know what edge they're on.
Right.
But which I can't imagine they could have made their way through them, because the way that Crazy Boy showed the overhead is that they were kind of coming across like a cold front.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they could have kind of made it up to the other side already, but yeah. And I just don't think. I mean, Murphy's going quick. I don't know how they get him to California, but
he called it a Zomnami. Is that what they called it? It was a Zomnami.
No, Tsunami.
But yeah, we'll see what happens this week.
So fun little zombie trivia fact too. So I don't know if either of you guys are watching what's the name of the show about the town that's filming the zombie movie?
Jasper, Alabama.
Yes, because you're right near that, right, Amy?
I'm like an hour away. Yeah, do I talk like that?
A little bit.
Don't answer that.
Your sentences kind of make sense, and I don't know. I've watched an episode or two of it, and I don't really understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I understand you, so it's a little different, but
it's a small town. It's a much smaller town. I'm in Tuscaloosa, which is a pretty big city.
Alrighty.
Compared to
Jasper,
what?
Alabama.
Okay.
Compared to what? Well, we have the football team here.
Well, how many people? Do you know?
Do what?
How many people? What's the population? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I just moved back there like a few months ago.
Just our county.
Okay.
We can wait.
No,
No.
I've been to some places out there where you could actually, when they say population 49, you could actually just drive down Main Street and you can probably count up to about 47, and the two people that you're not counting are sitting in the can, and that's why you can't count them. But no, I was just wondering, some people think some places are big, and
They're not.
when you compare places to like Philadelphia or New York, and then you go out to some place like,
Well, Atlanta. Birmingham is like a smaller version of Atlanta, just a little smaller.
Okay. See, now Atlanta, I've been
Which
to
is a little
Atlanta.
smaller than that. Yeah.
So Atlanta counts as a city because you've been to it? Is that how this works?
No, it counts as a city because it's big.
Size-wise.
Size-wise, it's big. No. I've been to Dallas. Dallas was a city before I got there, and I'm,
It's very magnanimous of you.
Okay, well, whatever, Kelly.
So we're gonna take a break, and Tony will come back and judge our guess size of their city. Do we want to do a little Walking Dead when we get back?
Sure, Kelly.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
Mr. Happy? Mikey, you've been quiet.
I'm just taking it all in. I'm learning a lot, Alabama is a central time zone. Things only count if Tony's been to them or seen them exist. And Kelly has this egg I didn't know about. It's a lot for me to take in. It's overwhelming.
So wait, can I ask you a question? So was the zombie trivia that Amy wasn't too far away from Jasper?
Yeah, what was the whole point of that?
It was
that kind of went nowhere.
I just wanted to bring up that she was close to anybody see it, just to see if it was kind of cool that she was near there and that you're filming it and she's just close.
Wait, let me be a little bit more judgy. So you're about an hour.
Oh, this will be a shock. Tony, continue.
Yeah, let me be a little bit more judgy. So is that by jet, motorcycle, walking, or by car?
By car.
By car. So it's an hour by car from her. Okay, I just wanted to get that straight because
Hour and a half.
Yeah. See, now in Philly, it can take you an hour and a half to go 10 miles, or it can take 15 minutes. It all depends on the time of day.
I've only been there once or twice.
Yeah, that's probably too many times.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean too many times. Like if you've been there twice, it's too many times. But I'm not being. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
But I'm not being judgy like Kelly says. So we're going to take a break. This is the SnarkALec Radio Show on Live 365's Loud and Loaded channel. And we'll be back after this break.
This non-judgy break.
And we're back. I'm Tony. Mike's here, Kelly's here, and everybody meet Amy. Amy's here, and we're going to talk about The Walking Dead. The most awesome zombie show ever.
Oh, Z Nation's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's the second most awesome zombie show ever until they do something that says, okay, they're as awesome as The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead's got 5 seasons on them, so that's why it's the most awesome show. If Z Nation sticks around that long, they'll be as awesome.
Thanks for the update. So last episode, it's all been strong so far for me. What you guys want to? We want to try and do a rating here or not? I don't think we'll get 2 numbers out of Mike if we do. I'm willing to go on this one. I'm 7.5.
I would say an 8.
I'll see your 8 and raise you a quarter. So I'm going to go 8 1/4. Mike, it's up to you.
8.379 were blue raspberry.
Wow. That's blue raspberry is pretty strong.
That is
Blue
pretty
raspberry
strong.
strong, but it's not quite perfect. It's not whiskey.
I think, as far as episodes go, the whole opening sequence with Gareth and Bob and that speech, and when you realize, I mean, Gareth's been in what, like 2 episodes really, for the most part. I mean, you see him in one, and the one where they get captured, and then in the opening one and subsequent, and he has, I think, exceeded the creepiness of the governor, and the governor had like a season and a half, and the governor had a tank full of heads in a fish tank, and he was still creepier than the governor. And this is all based on just the opening, 7 minutes of the newest episode. Would you agree, Amy? I see you nodding.
Oh, yeah. I'm a little upset that he had to go though.
Gareth or Bob?
Gareth.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I really liked him.
As a friend, or
As being
is there more?
or just as being like evil. I wanted to see what else would happen.
Yeah, because I never watched The Talking Dead, and there's reasons why I don't watch it. But Slash was going to be on, so I figured let me watch the first couple of minutes, and the actor who played Gareth was on, and the comedian chick was trying to pick him up, because according to her, there was a lot of female viewers, and a lot of her friends were like, he might be crazy, but damn, he's cute.
I'd let him eat me.
Yes, I believe.
No, that's one of the ones. That's one of the things they said.
That's exactly what she said.
Yeah.
I'd let him eat me. And
You should really start those, Amy, with "allow me to quote," instead of.
Allow me to quote.
So, I mean, I tuned off shortly after that, but I mean, like I said, it took Gareth 7 minutes in. Not that he wasn't getting close to exceeding the the governor in creepiness, but that first opening scene with his little speech there, with those zombies trying to get through those windows, was just, I was like, you've got to be effing kidding me. Now, Kelly, you've been, I guess you drew the parallels between Dale and in the comic and Bob, as a lot of people were doing. Like, there was a lot of people saying, I bet Bob was bit, I bet Bob was bit. And they did nothing to make you think that he was bit. But,
Little. I mean, the episode before, why was he going out and crying? I mean, they hinted. You didn't know. Per se.
I mean, well, for the comic readers, maybe that was the little impetus they needed to draw that conclusion. But I mean, like I said, I didn't think that there was anything that they had shown that gave you any reason to think that he had gotten bit. But later on in the show, he does say that he got bit when they were in that food place where you see the Gabriel's wife.
The food bank.
Yeah. In the food bank. And so now that Bob is gone, and this would be at the correct place where Dale would have gone.
Yep. This was, and it happened fairly quick there too. Want to touch on that a little bit more, right? I do want to capture one thing real quick here. So, Mike, you saw that episode too, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would like for you, in one word, to describe what you felt when you saw Gareth eating Bob. What's one word you felt?
Hungry.
Me
Okay.
too. Me too.
There you go. That I wanted to get to Amy.
Yeah. I was
So
thinking
share
ribs,
a little bit more,
barbecue.
Amy, your feelings during the Bob scenes.
Hungry. That's it.
She was speaking. Looked like good barbecue, I believe you were sharing.
Yeah.
See, I would have gone with. I thought it was a little grim, but way to steal the lead, Mike. That was supposed to be Amy's answer.
Let me throw this out at you then, Kelly. They were in a zombie apocalypse situation. Now, we were talking about weapons a little bit earlier. How long before you, if you survived, beyond the initial destruction and chaos and all that, how long before you think you would maybe consider turning to cannibalism?
Well, it depends. So, like, if it's dug close, I'm probably snacking the next day. I think that we do a little ribs with Doug, but I have a hard time. It would be a very, very long time, and I'd have to be very, very hungry. So, like, at least 8 hours?
A few days.
Yeah.
8 hours sounds about right.
Overnight. So.
Tony?
I do like eating meat, but I would have to be pretty damn hungry before I did something like that, I think. And then I'd be looking for cookbooks with good recipes.
What would be the best way?
Cookbook?
Yeah.
A cannibalism cookbook? Is that what you said?
Well, I'm thinking stewing, and because most of the meat that's eaten in this country is like it's young. It's you don't get a lot of 20-year-old cows that are going to the slaughterhouse to make you a T-bone steak. So I'm guessing you might get some aged meat that might be a little bit chewy. So you might have to tenderize it some and stew it up. How would you cook it, Kelly? Straight out on the barbecue? Slow cook it?
So there's something, and I'm going back to Doug Close. Kind of focused on, and I'm thinking almost like sushi. Might want to try something like that.
That's not very
helpful. Raw?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go raw human.
No,
I'll go raw fish, but raw human?
Yeah.
Humans are disgusting animals. You're going to want to make sure that's cooked.
There's too many things in a other human being that can make you sick. So you definitely have to well done that motherfucker.
That's supposed to be sterile environment fish in Lake Erie live.
Well, I mean, now, if you were saying, hey, let's take a few strips off of Tony, smoke them, and have some Tony jerky, that's a totally different thing. Now, like Tony was saying, though, the younger you go, the better the meat's going to be, so maybe a little baby jerky.
Yeah, and that's where it gets hard. But again,
teriyaki flavored.
But yeah, you got to cook it well done. That's why I'm saying slow cooking it as stew. Just wondering where Kelly was at, because you can get yourself a nice little a Dutch oven, and get some good slow cooked stew in there. And I don't know if I'd
like Dutch oven, Kelly?
Pardon?
You like a Dutch oven, Kelly?
Say yes.
I believe that I would find a large kettle and slow cook the things over a kettle.
Well, but you see, the difference between me and someone like Gareth was, he was munching on Bob with some gusto. He was really getting into it. And the thing that really makes that sick with those, like, he's like, hey, Bob, you taste a lot better than we thought you would. Yeah.
Now,
and
would it be weird if Bob asked for a bite? I mean, as long as it's already happening, wouldn't you kind of be interested in what you taste like?
I would.
Really?
I would.
And
I
you
would.
know he was hungry.
I would think that it would have to taste like pork. But then again, there's
Well,
also.
I mean, it's going to come down to the marinade, right?
Yeah, it's going to come down to that. I mean, depending on also what you throw in there too. If you're doing a stew, what other things you can throw in it. But there is a theory going way back to some scientists think that people just don't taste good to animals. That's why humans survived, because other animals took a bite and say, "Nah, this don't taste good. I'm not going to eat that." But then again, if you're really hungry, you will get eaten.
Well, I mean, we don't really know unless we try, though.
Well, I
wouldn't want to speculate on the idea that humans taste bad. I'm not going to just throw that out there as a blanket statement. Some humans might taste bad, but it's just like anything else. If you get a good cut of meat and it's well prepared, I mean, I'm willing to give cannibalism a shot.
Okay, well, I think I want to start a new movement then for the people, for the ethical treatment of people for use as food. Okay, or we could just call it Soylent Green. But, however, there's got to be some guidelines, because we can get into a whole, light meat, dark meat type discussion too, which would probably be inappropriate. But are we going to talk about cannibalism the whole show? Because nothing to do with cannibalism really happened in the show except for that beginning scene and we didn't even get to the point where Bob turns around and says, "Hey, you're eating tainted meat," and everybody starts puking their guts up.
Except for Gareth.
Except for Gareth, who's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I cooked it well enough." Which is the whole deal, is where it's got to be cooked. But then again, that gets back to the science of zombies from the first episode, because everybody's got it. If you die, you change. They must have found a way of stopping that. Was that funny there, Mike?
Yes, it was.
I'm just
Okay.
kind of hoping Mike's dying, because we'll find out if he's already a zombie though. So
I just want to give you guys permission. If I die in your presence, just take a bite.
We can eat you. Okay. Thank you.
Just
Andy, you are like way too.
Into that. I haven't
Look,
eaten
I'm
dinner.
going to tell you guys right now, if you guys die near me, I'm going to try you.
Okay.
Oh
Maybe
goodness!
not right there. I'm not going to clamp down on you, but I'll pull out a little pocket knife and just take a little home.
Do it inside
A
of the
little
thigh.
slither.
Mike. Inside of the thigh. Inside of the thigh.
So when the authorities come and I'm cutting into your thigh, I can be like, "You wanted this."
Oh, inside of. Wait, hold on. Inside of Kelly's thigh, like if.
Oh,
like,
okay. Where would you want, Kelly? Where do you think you would taste the best?
Buttocks.
Where's
Well,
where's
I'm
the
going to have to
prime
think
grade
about
athlete
I'm
at?
going to have to think about this for the first time ever right now.
I think.
First time for everything.
Okay, you should go for the taint, Mike. Go for the taint.
Oh goodness! So I listened to a podcast that about The Walking Dead, and they have people that write in, and they're including a nutritionist. That what they were saying is that just kind of like with animals, the best part of the human would actually be the ribs, the stomach, and the rump. Just like with an animal, what you want to stay away from are the legs and the shoulders.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Well, it's a known fact that all of the best meat is near the bones. Okay, where you have the ribs, there's lots of bones. And hey, the leg and the shoulders, that's the type of meat that you're going to stew. Because that's the meat that would be a little bit less tender and stuff. And, the ribs is where you're going to get your savory meat. But we're still talking.
I'm really just picturing Tony and I sitting around a fire, just eating, and like, man, the Kelly is really just falling off of the bones.
Hey, Mike, could you pass me some more Kelly? Yeah. Hey, you're hogging all the Kelly.
Meanwhile, Amy's stock. Because I did think Amy's the one out of this whole group right now that seems like totally ready to. Not a blink.
Amy be
Ready.
like, get out of my way. That's not how you cook the Kelly, okay? This is the way you cook the Kelly.
Well, another thing, didn't he say that women taste better? Because of body fat or something?
Yeah.
Gareth said that there was like a thing
Yeah.
because of her childbirth. Even the skinny ones have it, he said. And he said
Right.
that pretty people taste better.
Right.
He
And
felt.
he was also talking about eating the baby.
He did?
Yes, he did.
I missed that.
I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
He did
was, that,
mention
was that around the fire?
No, in the church. Was it in the church?
In the church.
Mhm.
Yep.
Did he say
But-
eat or did he just say, boy, you're my new favorite. I want to keep you around?
Well, that, but whenever, why would he want to keep somebody around to do them?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just picturing a baby on a spit right now, and I don't know, I'm getting hungry. Stomach's starting to growl a little.
Well, did you have and was this the way it played out in the comic, Kelly? The way with the Terminus thing? I kind of got the sense with the whole Terminus story that it lasted longer in the comic than it did in the show.
No, about actually, maybe it's about the same, I guess, on that, because the Hunters never had a place like Terminus in the comic, but the big difference was, and this was my one quibble with the show, Rick and his crew went to the school area and took them out there. Versus the Terminus folks coming into the church. Because the one part I struggled with on the plan is that why did they let them in the church at all to put anybody at risk? I guess to save bullets, but I don't know. That's the one part. It was an awesome scene. I loved the whole thing, but I was really surprised that their plan was, oh yeah, we'll let them in there with the B team, and we'll let them get real close to killing the B team. And
I love that part.
it was awesome. It was really suspenseful.
Yeah, it was an awesome scene. It was really suspenseful, getting back to some of the earlier things that they did in the show that made it worth watching, because the tension was unbelievable in that scene, going back and forth, and they kept on flashing over to Judith, and you knew she was going to make a sound sooner or later, and she finally did. But when you come to the realization that their plan was actually to fake leaving and to go out into the forest and then to circle around back, was a pretty, I agree with Kelly. That's not a plan I would have come up with. I would have stayed put and I would have let them try and come in, because basically I don't think the people from Terminus would have tried to come in. I think they would have tried to take people out as they came out, but I don't think they had plans on maybe attacking. But it was brilliant. And then it was also probably one of the most brutal episodes they've ever had. Even when the governor wholesale killed everybody from Woodbury with the gun, and they showed it, and you got people dying all over the place. When Rick pulled out that red machete that he told Gareth, he said, I'm gonna, and there's a red machete in that bag, and I'm gonna kill you with it. When he pulled out that machete, I'm sure half of the country that was watching that show said yes. But the interesting thing at that point was, while they were killing these people, not zombies but people, the expression on Tyrese's face and Tara's face and Maggie's face and Glenn, as they were like watching this whole thing go down, and I was like, I felt strange. I was like, yeah, but I was like, wow, that's fucking wrong, man. Like what they're doing to these people. Did you have the same sense, Mike?
It was. What I liked about this episode, obviously, was it being one of the better, beyond top 10, definitely like top 3 group murders in a church.
Okay, you don't even have to. You could just say group murder. You don't even have to subcategorize it by it in a church.
Well, I do.
Okay.
I think it's important because I mean, there's great group murders in films. So I would really have to think back. This is certainly up there, but I would have to think back. I don't know if I could go top 3, but group murder in a church, definitely top 3.
But, you know, at least they had the good taste to not do it in a confessional. You know? I mean,
Exactly.
they kept it.
Well, especially when, I mean, if they did kill the priest, there's no one to take their confession afterwards. So.
Yeah, so that was Tony, you hit it, that, you know, they made sure you saw that group of 4, Tyrese, who's I'm starting to have some problems with, he was all shocked, and Tara, who's an idiot, she was all shocked. But Glenn and Maggie, who have been through so much with this group and all that, and they just ate this guy's leg, they were really that horrified of, you know, you've got to take these people out.
Well,
And, I don't know.
I think, and yeah, like the zombie apocalypse happened, I think you can separate violence against a zombie or a walker with violence against real people. And I was surprised too, Kelly, because Glenn and Maggie were they were on the receiving end of a brutal beating at the hands of the governor when they were captured and not that that's justification, and they should always help people, but after the initial episode, when they were leaving, and Rick was like, well, we got to go back and finish them off. I was like, yeah, they got to go back and finish them off. But, I think it was Glenn that said, hey, the whole place is on fire. The fences are down. It's swarming with zombies. They're all running away, the ones that haven't been killed. And in that case, I'm like, yeah, they don't have to go back. But also in that episode, Tyrese, who's like, I can't do it, he killed the guy in the cabin with his bare hands. Okay?
He didn't kill the guy in the cabin, though.
Yeah, he did.
That guy, that's Martin. You talking about the guy that tried to choke the baby?
Yeah.
The Martin was left. He was one of the 4 people that were left.
He shouldn't have been.
No.
Because...
No. Look it up. Martin, the guy that Tyrese said he killed, one of the guys had a real kind of pincushion face. If you looked at the end, he was wearing the ball cap. He was the last one being willing to lay down. They called him Martin. That was the guy that Tyrese
that
wailed
was
on.
the guy that I gotta have to.
Yeah, I agree with Kelly on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that because he said he killed the guy, and as I was saying, I just rewatched that episode, and he beat the ever-loving crap out of him with his bare hands. And he said, oh, he's dead. I killed him. I had to. He was going to choke the baby. And Tyrese is ultimately the guy who put the blade through Bob's head because, he saved Sasha from having to do it. But, I mean, I was sad to see Bob go, because he was an interesting character. I thought that the way he was going to go out was he was going to go on one of his alcohol binges and end up, fucking things up and having a couple of people die because of him. Having to go out the way that he went out was pretty bad, especially considering that, he fed so many. But yeah, if that guy Martin was there, dude, I didn't realize that guy wasn't dead.
Well, it would be like Tyrese to try to avoid killing him.
Honestly thought he was dead because there was lots of blood going on. He was wailing on him pretty good.
Yeah, no, he was hitting him bad. And when after that, when they showed you the aftermath of the zombies that were outside, he destroyed them. like brutally. Like one was staked, a couple others were smashed. I mean, Tyrese, there was no doubt about it that he destroyed the zombies that were outside. And I liked that particular scene too because there was it sounded like there was like 10 zombies out there or whatever, and then the noise of the zombies was getting less and less and less, and then the noise stopped. And when that guy Martin goes to the door, Tyrese just bursts through and throws him down and then just starts wailing on him. But yeah, getting back to the Maggie and Glenn thing, with all of the violence that they've seen, I'm surprised that they were as shocked, to see the Maggie watched her father die, at the hands of the governor, in a horrific way. So it's not like and maybe it was because they saw people that they knew doing the violence. But according to Glenn, it's who they are.
Yeah. So Amy, do you like Beth as a character?
Mm-hmm. Does anybody?
Okay, so why don't you like
Maggie?
Yeah, I don't like Maggie.
Why don't you like Beth?
A lot of reasons. Just because she talks. But she's in the show. Yeah, I forgot what it was. I mean, it's a lot of things that I don't like. But yeah, just because she talks.
A lot of people did not like her because she sang. Like it's like the zombie apocalypse, and there you're singing. Okay. And then a lot of people didn't like her because she was being like a little stuck up, like what I've heard, rich girl, which she wasn't acting like a rich girl. She's just trying to act like a teenager. But ultimately, having a conversation with somebody I know, my 17-year-old daughter, and the reason that she cannot stand Beth is because Beth was hanging out with Daryl, and that was the whole deal. Like, my daughter liked Beth until it was Daryl and Beth, and then she did not like Beth no more. So you ask why, Kel?
So no, I was just wondering because we're coming up. So the two questions I kind of have for the group was at the end, Daryl shows up, and Michonne inexplicably goes on to investigate alone noises in the woods. They should have learned by now that's a really bad idea. But so it's Daryl, and she says, "Where's Carol?" And then Daryl turns and goes, "Come out," and so my question is, who do you think that is? And my point is that if it's Beth, I don't think Maggie could care. I mean, Beth, Maggie doesn't even really ask about Beth, and now she's gone off with another group. She seems like she's completely written Beth off.
If you watch the opening episode again, there's a lot of voices and talking, and one of the voices that you hear in talking is Daryl saying about the car and about Beth got taken and stuff. So it's kind of like what happened in the car. They were all catching up with each other's stories and stuff. So yeah, nobody's brought that up again. But I keep on thinking every time they hear a noise in the woods and someone's about to pop out. Remember at the end of that first episode, we saw Morgan walked by that sign that Rick had, wrote the word "no sanctuary" and crossed out the rest of the words. Keep expecting Morgan to pop up, and I'm waiting for him to pop up. But
me too.
So I mean, I'm guessing. We're going to have a flashback episode where we're going to see what happened with Carol and Daryl. My simple guess, and I don't know if, Kelly, you've got insight from the comic, but basically we're going to see, because they flashed up some stuff about it. You see Beth, and she looks like she's in Atlanta, back in Atlanta or some kind of big city, almost in a hospital or some kind of secure location where there's bars and stuff. And she's being held captive by at least another woman, but I am guessing that there are more than just Beth being held prisoner. So I'm guessing Daryl is coming back with at least Beth, if not one or two other women. Allegedly, there's been someone added to the cast. So I'm guessing we're getting somebody new. So I'm guessing we're getting Beth, Carol, and another person. But you mentioned Michonne, and we didn't see her at all until like halfway through the episode. And even then, she looked like she was distracted or she had something on her mind or whatever. Even when she got her sword back, you know. And actually, when she heard the noise, she was actually sitting alone outside when she heard the noise. Something is up with Michonne.
Well, wasn't the priest out there with her? He was out there with her, and she told me to go inside.
Till he heard the rustle, then he,
Yeah,
being the brave man that he was.
Yeah.
But so when they leave, are they taking him with them? Is Gabriel going to end up going with them, Cal?
So the comic readers would say yes, that would be happen. But I think they are going to be some places where they'll shift. They may shift some things around. I do not think Carol is one of the people that comes out from the woods, though, because I don't think Daryl would say come out to Carol like that. That's my guess. Because she'd kick his ass. So.
Well, I mean, Carol is probably one of the best survivors in that group. And a loss, her loss would be, amazingly tough to take. And, I don't know how long she survived in the comic, but, one of the things that Kirkland said was they could kill Daryl at any time, because Daryl's character doesn't exist in the comic world. So they could kill him whenever they want to. But then there's the other side that says, hey, you kill Daryl and we'll revolt or whatever. We'll riot tomorrow. And I'll be like, yeah, go riot. Do me a favor, riot, please. But I don't know. I think Carol be one of the people that... See, I would think that, and this is my guess, no comic foreknowledge, because now we have the three storylines again. So we're going to find out what happened with Glenn, with Carol and Daryl, okay? Then they come back, and then we're going to see them start going on their way, and then we're going to flash over to, okay, what's happened with Abraham, Eugene, Maggie and Glenn since they left, and they're going to get into some kind of trouble. And then we're going to see how, Rick and the gang, kind of get them out, and Morgan's going to pop up somewhere. But, so this is going to be episode 4 of the season? Is it 4 or 3?
4.
It's 4.
4.
Okay. So we're 4 episodes in, 4 episodes to go before the break, right? Because they'll do 8 and then they'll break and then they'll come back in February sometime after the Super Bowl, and then we'll find out what the outcome of everything is. But, who knows? Break time?
Yeah, there's no parallel to what's going on right now in the comics, so it's all they can play around with who's ever coming, because the Beth and Carol characters have had different fates in the comics, so this whole thing is all them just playing around right now. So it'll be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I do not expect to see Beth come out, and I don't know when they're going to do, or Carol come out.
Okay.
But we'll see. And I actually kind of don't expect Beth to come on. I expect somebody different. I'd love for it to be Morgan, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Oh, are we?
We should be done. We're way
We
past.
should be done. Yeah, we
Yes.
ran a long day. So Amy, would you consider visiting with us again sometime? Where
On
someone
time.
actually if someone actually tells you the appropriate time or the accurate time, and because we had to kind of rush through some stuff with you, and it's been awesome to have you. But I hope you would be willing to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do that.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll make sure that I send you a separate tweet, because the tweets are actually going to change now. They're going to go from Eastern Daylight Time to Eastern Standard Time. So, Kelly, that'll be EST, which means there's still an hour difference between...
Not an abbreviation for Easter.
Right. So, and you're going to change to CST, which is Central Standard Time, not Central Daylight Time. But there'll still be an hour difference, because we're going to get our hour back, and we're going to get it from you. And you're going to take an hour from California, and they're not even going to miss it.
Okay. Let's just take my lumps on this one. Okay.
I know, time is hard. So next week we got the McGivners. John and Mike's side piece. Did you know Mike had a side piece, Amy?
I did not.
Yeah. He has a side piece. Her name is Helena. And her husband, John, is fully aware that his wife cavorts with Mike. And he's happy with it. They live in Wisconsin. Mike's in Philadelphia, so they have a hard time getting together. How many times have you guys gotten together there, Mike?
I mean, it's not as many times as Kelly and I've got together.
Wisconsin's in the Central Time
Kelly's
Zone.
difficult. Well, I was going to say getting together with Kelly is difficult because he doesn't really understand time zones.
So did I tell you the trick that we played on the McGivners, Kelly? It was pretty funny. They were supposed to be on Dylan Knows, and Dylan was having technical difficulties, and it was on a Friday. So I decided to start hanging out with Mike, and because Mike was going to be on the same show. So we were bullshitting, and I was like, I'll just invite, Helena and John, and we'll bullshit until Dylan's not having technical difficulties anymore. So I invited her in, and she pops in, and she's about to say hi, Dylan, and then she saw me and Mike, and she's like, oh, this is the wrong show. And she was shocked for a second, and then we ended up hanging out because Dylan ended up not having a show. It was funny. So next week we're going to have the same nonsense. Gotham, Z Nation,
Nurture and support.
Nurture and support. Dylan Knows, the assistant. Hey, there's an assistant episode out right now. It's called Reflection, and I have a link to it. So as soon as I hit stop the broadcast, I'm going to go click that link, and I'm going to go watch it. So that's
Seems
what
like
I'm
a
going
good
to do.
thing to do. So make sure you guys tune in next week, whether you watch us live or you catch it on the radio station. We're going to make sure that you see everything that we talk about with forgiveness. Luckily, everyone knows now not to take Kelly's word on the time of when everything gets started. And
we'll schedule up Amy to come back before
absolutely, yeah. We need to make up for Kelly's error here. And make sure you check out Nurture and Support. It's a great show. Honestly, my favorite podcast. You can check out Cockstar Radio, The Assistant, Dylan Knows, Bring Out Your Geek. And, if you're not doing anything tomorrow, you might want to watch Evil Bong for free with Elvira. So on that note, do you guys want to say goodbye to everybody?
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Kelly?
Goodbye, everybody, and we give you peace. We give you mercy. Jesus.